Hi, welcome to this week's midweek meditation. Actually said that correctly. What third, fourth take? Actually, not sure. Anyway, let's see. When I was asked to do this, I was actually a little intimidated. I was like, I don't know what resource to start with, what to do. I don't know what wise words I have for anyone besides, maybe myself every now and then. But then I thought about a resource that we used as we were starting our parent-teacher role, I guess, during COVID, and it was a devotional that we used for our family, and we thought it really connected with something. So I took a look, and actually, there was something that connects with what we're doing here today.
So, what I will be doing is reading from Haggai, the first chapter, verses 1 through 11. And it kind of goes as following. After 70 years in Babylon, many Jews who had been slaves there started returning to Jerusalem. God was bringing his people back to their own land as he had promised. Yet as the people settled in their home country, their main concern was to build beautiful houses for themselves, while no one paid attention to the temple of the Lord, which still lay in ruins. It is not the right time to start building the house of the Lord, they said. But the Lord spoke through Haggai, the prophet, saying, think about what is happening. You have sown so much, but harvested little. You have food, but not enough to fill you. You have clothes, but not enough to keep you warm. Can't you see why this is happening? Now go up to the hills and get wood to rebuild the temple, and I will be pleased.
Can one become too busy? The Bible has quite a lot to say to those who are lazy. God does not want us to be lazy, someone who never tries anything, does anything, or achieves anything. Yet rushing from one activity to another and working like crazy is not what God had in mind for us either. One of the sins that the Israelites had struggled with before they were taken to Babylon was their constant longing for more money and things. Now that they had returned to Jerusalem, they again became so busy with their own things that they started to leave God out of their lives. They must have looked like ants rushing around, gathering and carrying, weaving and building. So this is what God said to them. Go and get building material and start rebuilding the temple so that I can meet you again. In the same way, God does not want our lives to be filled with so many things that there's no time left for him. With all the things going on, it's important to set aside a special time to spend with the Lord each day, whether it works best for you in the morning, the afternoon, or the evening. James 4:8 says, come near to God, and he will come near to you. I find this especially poignant as I'm a person that's back and forth, especially before, I guess pre-COVID, we would say. Busy being with the Army Band, with the church, of course, and with an orchestra that I conducted. And so there was constant movement and back and forth, and of course, trying to find time for family and sleep every now and then. So that's something that obviously connects with me.
I think where we kind of took a moment was with the COVID-19, really looking at some of the things that were more important. Especially when we looked at education, one of the things that we did miss was there being devotion and there being spiritual leadership, occurring in the schools. So that was one of the things that we wanted to incorporate with our children. And it's not easy. I think that's the hard part. Number one, you never feel as if you're good enough. You can read the word as being a student, but trying to lead as an example and knowing that there are plenty of imperfections that we all have, and we kind of struggle throughout the day. So it's easy to kind of put it on the back burner. Oh, I'll get to it tomorrow or the next day, and before you know it, you're so far out of routine until it's just not happening. And that was one of the things that I know that this is a horrible issue and concern when it comes to health and safety. And at the same time, it has blessed us in being able to stop and pause for a moment and look at the important pieces. Also, some of the important pieces is really incorporating, the church itself on Sundays. I know for us, it always was, the rat race of getting dressed. Oh my God, did the kids get dressed? Does Joshua have socks on? Those are some of the things that would go through my head as a mom, and making it to church, like 1 minute before it started, usually like 5 minutes after it started, but we made it, as long as the first song they were still singing and we plopped down in the seats, we did good. So now it's a little bit different, taking that moment, because it's really, really easy to say, oh, well, it's taped, it's recorded, I can check on it later, I can go back to Facebook and hit the click button and see it, a little later on. But it's just as important in taking that time. The spiritual guidance that's needed, I am at that point, I think that's pretty much every hour. Hey, you just gotta, it's like, gotta raise a hand on this one, Lord, please help me. Because a lot of this is very uncharted territory. We don't know. And it is walking by faith. And yes, I think that this piece really kind of touched on something. The other piece, when I say this piece touched on something, when COVID-19 started, I think we all came across these honey-do lists, all the things that we were going to do. We're going to get this done, we're going to get that done, we're going to, re-improve, the house, and we're going to make certain that we've gotten all these pieces done, all the things that we said that, I think.
Garage, and garage.
Yes. So, that was the beginning. Oh, it's just to kind of help us get through. We're going to check this box and the next box and the next box and the next box. And God has us to take a moment and pause. Those boxes are going to be there. It takes faith and patience and hope, and charity with each other in these times. And that's the real building. And that's where I think this piece kind of really hit home for me, because it is taking that moment in time, just to fellowship with one another, Zoom, FaceTime, calling a person, checking on each other. Those are the true homes in building. Checking to make certain everybody is okay. And if they're not, trying to figure out what best way to help and lend a hand. That's true building. And, that's the important piece that I look at, and looking at with this particular part of scripture. Dave?
So this is how really it connects for us. Hopefully our journey, just a little discussion about it, helps you make it through your week, and actually remember to take just time for God every day, just a little bit. Work it in just a little bit if you have to, if there's a way to do it. But it really, that's something that's it's been important to me, to help me just be still for a second and just really know that
Sit
God
in the
is
moment.
there.
Right. Know God is there. Sit in the moment. Fellowship with others. Making it a part on a daily basis. And sometimes, maybe a little more than once a day would be nice too. Just saying.
Now you're getting greedy.
Okay. Well.
Thank you for taking this time to watch this, and you got it. You can make it to the end of the week. God bless.
God bless.